family.
Yes, I didn't say. What are you looking so sad about, Jack?
I'm surprised at you. I mean, I'm really insulted. I mean, that's not right what you just said.
What do you mean, what I just said?
I mean, I'm getting a drink of water. I'm late getting home, but you talk. I said something about the greatest heavyweight champ, man. I'm a hometown man, and you talk about Joe Louis, man. Joe Louis wouldn't be nothing for me. Joe, I tell you, Joe, do you think you would have stood a chance with me?
Well, Clay, one time during my career, I went on a Formula One tour.
I would have been a bum compared to you.
Would you be on the tour? Oh.
What's happening, my people? It's Cat Sports again, back for another afternoon with the family. That's right. You know what time it is. If it's Monday through Friday, 2 p.m., it's the Boxtorian bringing you all that boxing history. Boxing is the greatest sport of them all. That's why we love it. Can't get enough of it. Salute to Miss Cass. Without her, none of this would be possible. Salute to everyone, and welcome to another episode of Cass Sports, the Boxtorian. Today, boxing siblings. How's the family today? We're right back at the beginning of another big week of boxing history. Hope everybody had a great weekend. We're going to talk about boxing siblings today. Got a whole bunch of them. Some actives, some former. We got the Charlo twins, Gabriella, Sebastian Fundora, the Spinks brothers, the Attell brothers. Boxing siblings today. That's what we're going to cover. It's going to look at their careers, background, And then we're going to look at the end, time permitting, some boxers who have family in their corner, like some father-son trainers, stuff like that. All that today on Cat Sports, the Box Story, bringing you all that boxing history. How's everybody this Monday afternoon? Got a rainy day out here in Maryland, but it's warm. It's just like a way up in the 60s. Spring is in the air. Good to see everybody on this side of the weekend. We're going to get started with our fight of the day in a few moments, as we always do. Got a good fight of the day today. Everybody heard of this one? Go back to like about 20 years ago, something like that. But boxing siblings, you know, we got some brother and sister combinations. So let's get ready to get into it. Start today's show out with our fighters today. Okay? So now, without further ado, today's fight of the day. Okay. Today's fight of the day is Floyd Mayweather Jr. versus Canelo Alvarez. September 14th, 2013. The one. Not quite 20 years ago, about 13 years ago. But the one. Floyd Canelo. Let's get into that. Get this thing kicked off. Get this week of boxing history kicked off because we got a big week coming up. Floyd Mayweather Jr. versus Canelo Alvarez was contested at the MGM Grand Garden Arena in Las Vegas, Nevada, where the undefeated 36-year-old American welterweight champion Mayweather coming into the fight with 44 wins, no losses, 26 knockouts, defeated the 23-year-old Mexican super welterweight title holder Alvarez. Came in 42-0, one knockout, one draw, 30 knockouts. Floyd won by majority decision over 12 rounds at a catch weight of 152 pounds. The fight was contested for the WBA super welterweight title, as well as the ring super welterweight title, marking Mayweather's first fight above the welterweight division since 2007, and Alvarez's highest profile challenge to date. Billed as the one, the matchup pitted Mayweather's defensive mastery and unbeaten streak against Alvarez's aggressive power punching style and rising stardom, generating massive anticipation as a generational clash between the pound-for-pound king and Mexico's next big hope. The event shattered pay-per-view records with 2.2 million buys, producing $150 million in revenue, the highest at the time, and a live gate of over $20 million from 16,298 attendees. Mayweather earned a guaranteed purse of $41.5 million, the largest in boxing history up to that point, while Alvarez received approximately $12 million boosted by pay-per-view shares. In the ring, Mayweather dominated with superior footwork, counterpunching, and ring generalship, landing 232 of 505 punches, 46%, compared to Alvarez's 117 of 526 for 22% per CompuBox stats, while avoiding significant damage despite Alvarez's youth and size advantage. The judges scored it 116-112 and 117-111 for Mayweather, with one very controversial 114-114 card from Judge C.J. Ross, drawing widespread criticism and leading to her temporary retirement from judging. The victory extended Mayweather's perfect record to 45-0, unifying the super welterweight titles under his banner, while the loss marked Alvarez's first defeat and prompted reflections on his tactical approach against elite technicians. The fight's legacy endures as a benchmark for boxing's commercial peaks and stylistic contrasts. Boosting Alvarez's global profile, he later became a multi-division champion and reinforcing Mayweather's status as one of the sport's greatest defensive artists before his 2017 retirement. It also highlighted ongoing debates about judging transparency in high-stakes fights and the financial disparities in boxing mega fights. Now let's look at a little background of the two fighters before we go round by round and discuss the fight. Little background, first with Floyd. Mike Rem. Salute Mike Rem. How was your weekend, Mike? Good to see you today on this side of it. Floyd Mayweather Jr. versus Canelo Alvarez, fighters a day. From 2013, billed as the one. Okay, let's look at the background, starting with Floyd Mayweather Jr. Floyd Mayweather Jr., born on February 24th, 1977, in Grand Rapids, Michigan, was a pro boxer renowned for his undefeated record and defensive mastery. Entering the fight against Canelo Alvarez on September 14th, 2013, Mayweather held a perfect professional record of 44 wins with no losses, having competed since his debut in 1996. His fighting style, characterized by the shoulder roll technique, emphasized evasion, precise counterpunching, and minimal risk, allowing him to outpoint opponents while conserving energy. Mayweather had a history of headlining high-profile pay-per-view events, including victories over notable champions such as Oscar De La Hoya in 2007 by split decision and Miguel Cotto in 2012 by unanimous decision, which solidified his status as one of boxing's biggest draws. At 36 years old, he stood 5 feet 8 inches tall with a 72-inch reach, moving up from the welterweight division to challenge at super welterweight. Take a look at Canelo. So Canelo Alvarez, born on July 18th, 1990 in Guadalajara, Mexico, rose rapidly through the professional ranks after a promising amateur career. As an amateur, Alvarez compiled a record of 44 wins, 2 losses, beginning training at age 13, earning a silver medal at the Junior Mexican National Championships before turning pro at age 15 in 2005. By 2013, he had built an impressive pro record of 42-0, 1 draw, showcasing an aggressive power punching style that combined relentless pressure with strong body work and knockout power. Key victories included unanimous decisions over Kane Mosley in 2012 and Austin Trout in 2013, which elevated him to unified super welterweight champion status. At 23 years old, Alvarez matched Mayweather's height of 5 feet 8 inches, but had a slightly shorter reach of 70.5 inches, competing naturally at the 154-pound super welterweight limit. The matchup pitted Mayweather's experience and defensive precision against Alvarez's youth and offensive firepower, with Alvarez's WBA super and the ring super welterweight titles on the line in a catchweight fight at 152 pounds. Mayweather, the lineal welterweight champion, moving up in weight, sought to extend his undefeated streak while challenging for Alvarez's belt in what was billed as a generational clash. Okay, let's get to the fight now. Floyd versus Canelo, 2013. It was a huge one there. 36-year-old Floyd Mayweather versus 23-year-old Canelo Alvarez. Okay, let's talk about the fight. Okay, here we go. In the early rounds, 1 through 4, Canelo pressed forward aggressively with jabs and probing combinations to test Floyd's defenses. But Floyd responded with sharp right-hand counters and frequent clinches to neutralize pressure and reset the action. Canelo showed flashes of power, particularly landing a solid left hook in round 2. Yet Floyd's shoulder roll and pivots limited clean connections, allowing him to outland the challenger in total punches during this phase of the fight. By the mid-fight rounds 5 through 8, Floyd asserted control through superior ring movement and distance management, landing roughly 40% of his punches compared to Canelo's 20% efficiency. A pivotal exchange unfolded in round 7, where Floyd targeted Canelo's midsection with a series of body shots that allowed the Mexicans that slowed the Mexicans' output and highlighted Floyd's tactical shift to attrition warfare. Entering the late rounds, 9 through 12, Canelo, visibly fatigued from chasing Floyd's elusive style, enabling the American to dictate pace and range while conserving energy for selective counters. Rounds 11 and 12 proved tense and competitive, with Canelo's summoning reserves for heavier flurries against the ropes. But Floyd's poise and cleaner landing of jabs secured the rounds amid the challenger's waning volume. And Floyd comes out of it with the win. Again, by scores of. Had one very controversial card in there. But scores of 116, 112, 117, 111 for Floyd, and a controversial card from C.J. Ross, 114, 114, which led to C.J. Ross's temporary retirement from judging. But there you have it. The fight of the day. There's your winner. Floyd Mayweather Jr. Mayweather Alvarez. Went back to 2013. Okay, now we will talk about some sibling boxers or boxing siblings. Boxing siblings today. Okay. Let's get into it. There's the Klitschko brothers playing chess. Yeah, boxing siblings today. Okay, excuse me for one quick moment. And we're gonna get started with today's show, Boxing Siblings. Okay, we're back and ready to go. How's everybody this Monday? Starting another big week of boxing history. Coming straight at us. Mike Grimm in the building. Salute Mike Grimm. Good show today. We're just going to talk about some siblings in boxing. Brothers and sisters. Then at the end, we got some father-son training combinations we're going to touch on. Like Bill and Devin, Teofimo and Teofimo, Senior and Junior. Shane Mosley actually fired his father, not once, twice. Fired his own, bad enough to fire your father once. Sugar Shane fired his father twice. Okay, we're going to get into that later. But let's get started with boxing siblings today. Okay. Boxing siblings. Now, boxing can be a very lonely sport with just two combatants slugging it out in front of thousands of people screaming for blood. But for some, it is very much a family affair. We've seen instances of two or more people from the same family climb to the top of the sport, like the Klitschko brothers, who ruled the heavyweight division for the best part of an entire decade. Okay? Now, although the two Ukrainian greats are no longer competing in boxing, there are still many siblings flourishing in the sport. Boxing has seen many successful siblings achieve greatness together in the ring. Throughout the sport's history, brothers cultivating excellent side-by-side makes for captivating storylines and unforgettable moments. If you have a brother, then you have a sparring partner for life. And if your brother is a fighter, then you better learn how to defend yourself, or you'll end up being the proverbial punching bag. Okay? You end up being the double end bag. You know, the double end bag is stationary, don't move. That's what you end up being if your brother's a fighter, you can't defend yourself. Brotherly love and sibling rivalry help create these famous fistic families that we're going to discuss and cover today on Cast Sports, the Box Story, and bringing you all that boxing history. Now, Abe and Monty Attell were the first siblings to hold world titles simultaneously at the same time. So we'll start right there with them. Abe and Monty, the Attell brothers. There's Abe right there. The Attell brothers. The Attell brothers are from San Francisco, California. Abe, known as the Little Hebrew, became known for its record-setting 6-year consecutive reigning as world featherweight champion from 1906 to 1912, and its nearly consecutive overall 10-year reign starting in 1902. Okay. It is Monty. His younger brother Monty became bantamweight champion in 1909, making the brothers the first siblings to hold boxing titles at the same time in boxing history. Abe and Monty Attell. Okay, so now first we're going to look at a group of active boxers. We got actives and inactives. That's former boxers today. Boxing siblings. We're going to look at a group of active fighters first. And we're going to start out with the Charlo twins. Start out with the Charlo twins. Okay? There they are. The Charlo twins. Boxing siblings today. Now, Jamal and Jermell Charlo are identical twin brothers from Houston, Texas, and accomplished professional boxers. They're the first twins in boxing history to hold world titles simultaneously. Jermell is a former undisputed junior middleweight champion, while Jamal is an undefeated former middleweight champion. Jermell is known for being quicker, while Jamal is generally considered the heavier-handed, bigger puncher. The brothers have been inactive in recent times, but their achievements cannot be ignored. Okay? Next, boxing siblings. The Inoue brothers. They are pictured with their father and trainer, Shinto, left to right, the monster Naoya Takuma, father trainer Shinto. The Inoue brothers. Naoya is one of the biggest names in boxing right now, after ruling no fewer than 4 different divisions. He has also held undisputed status in 2 weight classes, one of only 5 boxers to do so in the 4-belt era. He currently holds all the marbles at super bantamweight. Takuma, who is 3 years younger than Naoya, has also enjoyed plenty of success in his own career. In 2023, Takuma won the WBA title that was vacated by his brother. He's currently the WBC bantamweight champion. Both of the Japanese boxers are trained by their father, Shinto Inoue. It is Shinto pictured with the brothers on the right there. Bruce Gass, boxing, jazz, and more. Salute, Bruce Gass. We're looking at some boxing siblings today, Bruce. Just covered we started out with the Attell brothers. They were the first brothers in 1909 to hold titles at the same time. Then we covered the Charlo twins. Just did the Inoues. Salute, Bruce. Now we're going to go to the next boxing sibling. Okay. How about the Maloney brothers? The Maloney brothers. Jason and Andrew Maloney are elite Australian twin boxers known as the Bruise Brothers. Jason, a highly ranked bantamweight known for his technical skills and a former world champion, winning the WBO bantamweight title in May 2023. Andrew, also a former champion, holding the WBA super flyweight title in 2020, is known for his high-volume punching style. Both brothers had plans to fight their way back to world championship status. The Maloney brothers. Okay? Just a little short talks. I'm not going to bore y'all. Let's move on to the next boxing siblings. The Dubois siblings. The Dubois siblings. Daniel and Caroline Dubois operated very different weights, but have both achieved huge success inside the squared circle. Daniel is 4 years older than Caroline and has naturally been in the spotlight for longer. After bursting onto the scene as a teenager, Daniel suffered his share of setbacks, but he bounced back to win the IBF heavyweight title in 2024, which he's since lost. Now, he's only 28 years old, so he has time on his side to mount another world title challenge. In the women's lightweight division, Caroline is the current WBC champion. She represented Team Great Britain at the 2021 Olympics, narrowly missing out on a medal. She's then turned to the pro ranks and quickly moved into contention. She was awarded the WBC lightweight title with less than 10 fights as a pro. The Dubois siblings. Okay. Next, the Fundora siblings. Sebastian and Gabriela Fundora are a standout brother-sister pro boxing duo from Palm Beach, Florida, often training together under their father, Freddie. You're both trained by their father, Freddie Fundora. Sebastian, the towering Inferno Fundora, is a former unified WBC, WBO super welterweight champion, while Gabriela, Sweet Poison Fundora, is the youngest female undisputed flyweight champion in boxing history. The Fundoras are recognized as a pioneering brother-sister duo holding world titles simultaneously. The siblings are known for their mutual support, with Gabriela often citing her brother's success as motivation to excel further in her own career. The Fundora siblings. Boxing siblings today. Al Booger in the building. What's up, Al Booger? Boxing siblings today, Al Booger. Okay, we just like 5 or 6 in. We didn't miss too much. Big show today. Okay, let's finish the Fundora siblings. So let's move on to the next siblings, which will be the Zoo brothers. The Zoo brothers. There you go. The Zoo brothers. Tim and Nikita Zoo are Australian pro boxers and sons of Hall of Fame champion Kostya Zoo. And there's a shot of Kostya with the boys and they were babies. I don't know which is which. Well, that's Tim on the right because Tim is the oldest. But it's got to be Nikita on the left, right? Yeah, but there's Kostya. Okay, but let's continue. I just thought I'd throw that in there. Okay, yeah. But they are both sons of Hall of Fame champion Kostya Zoo, Tim and Nikita. Now, both compete in the super welterweight division, known for their disciplined, aggressive styles and for continuing their father's legacy in Australian boxing. Tim is a former WBO champion, while Nikita is a rising prospect. The Zoo brothers, boxing siblings. The Russell brothers. Okay, yeah, the Russell brothers. There we go. The Russell brothers. Okay. Yeah, next is the Russell brothers. Now, the Russell brothers includes former WBC featherweight champion Gary Russell Jr., along with talented brothers, current WBA super lightweight champion Gary Antoine Russell, and bantamweight contender Gary Antonio Russell. The Russell brothers hail from Capitol Heights, Maryland, and are part of a family boxing dynasty formed by their late father trainer, Gary Russell Sr., who was a former boxer himself. The brothers are known for their speed, skill, and close-knit, team-oriented approach to the sport. Despite their father's passing, the brothers continue to fight, aiming to solidify their place in boxing history. The Russell brothers, boxing siblings. The Smith brothers. There's 5 of them, but those are the 2 active brothers that's active. Callum and Liam are active, but it's actually 4 of them, I mean. The Smith brothers. Paul, Stephen, Liam, and Callum are a renowned British boxing family from Liverpool, England, notable for all 4 becoming pro boxers who held British titles. They often served as each other's coaches and support system, providing a unique, close-knit, and competitive environment. Paul is a two-time British super middleweight champion and Commonwealth Games silver medalist and top-level contender as a pro. Stephen won a Commonwealth Games gold medal and is a former British Commonwealth super featherweight champion. Of the four brothers, Liam and Callum are the only ones still competing actively. Liam, also known as Beefy, is a former WBO junior middleweight world champion, known for his relentless style and significant British Commonwealth titles. Callum, also known as Mundo, and the youngest brother is a former WBA super middleweight world champion, known as a standout talent. The Smith brothers are considered one of the most successful boxing families in British boxing history. The Smith brothers. All right. The Benavidez brothers. The Benavidez brothers. There they are pictured with father trainer Jose Sr. in the middle. The Benavidez brothers, featuring the Mexican Monster. David, the Mexican Monster, and his older brother Jose Jr. are elite boxers from Phoenix, Arizona, renowned as a fighting family. David is a former world champion at super middleweight and the current WBC champion at light heavyweight. He's known for his high volume punching and power and has established himself as one of the best pound for pound fighters in the world currently. Jose Jr. is an accomplished boxer who challenged for the WBO welterweight title in 2018. He has had a career marked by fighting top-tier competition. Both brothers are trained by their father, Jose Benavidez Sr. Here he is pictured with him in the middle. Left to right is David, Jose Sr., and Jose Jr., the Benavidez brothers. Okay? Okay, let's move on. Okay. There we go. Yeah, okay. Next is the Azim brothers. The Azim brothers. Adam and Hassan Azim are talented British Pakistani boxing brothers, both pursuing pro careers with bright futures. Adam, the younger brother, is a rapid rising and explosive lightweight, while Hassan is a diligent, disciplined welterweight. The brothers often fight on the same cards. They train together, and while Adam often takes the spotlight, they share a deep bond and a common goal of becoming world champions. The Azim brothers. Okay? That's a little brief things. I'm not going to bore y'all, I promise. Let's move on. The Conceição brothers. The Conceição. Wait a minute. Oh, I got two pictures of the Azim brothers. Okay, I was supposed to erase one of them. My bad. Okay, but the Conceição brothers is next. And there they are. Wait a minute, man. There they are. You're Rosen and Haybear. There they go. Rosen on the right, Haybear on the left. There they go. Okay, here we go. The Conceição brothers. The Rosen and Haybear Conceição won consecutive gold medals at the 2016 and 2020 Olympics, respectively. Both are now currently active at the pro level. Rosen captured the WBC super featherweight title in 2024, but lost it in an immediate rematch later that same year. He has also been on the wrong end of some very controversial decisions during his pro career. Hebert is just 10 fights into his pro career with a perfect record. The Conceição brothers' combined achievements have boosted Brazilian boxing's infrastructure, encouraging family-oriented training programs and international opportunities for prospects from the country and the region. Conceição brothers. The Pulev brothers. The Pulev brothers is next. The Bulgarian brothers, Kubrat and Tervel Pulev, remain active in pro boxing, with Kubrat recently coming off a major title fight. Kubrat the Cobra lost his WBA title in December 2025. With the loss, Kubrat's immediate path back to a world title is unclear. Tervel, the younger brother, continues to compete in the cruiserweight division. Although both brothers are in their 40s, they are still currently active boxers. Kubrat, age 44, Tervel, age 43. Still going though. They're your five brothers. Galal, Cal, and Gamal are British pro boxers from Birmingham, England. With Galal winning Olympic gold in 2012, and the WBA super flyweight title in 2016. And brothers Cal and Gamal holding world and regional titles respectively. All three have represented Great Britain in club. The siblings amateur to pro transitions have elevated amateur pathways in British boxing. The Galal brothers, your five brothers. Next is the Diaz brothers. The Diaz, boxing siblings today. Mexican-American siblings, Antonio and Julio Diaz, both had accomplished pro careers. Older brother Antonio held the IBF lightweight title from 2004 to 2007. He faced top competitors while making 3 successful defenses. Younger brother Julio challenged for major world titles at lightweight and welterweight, coming up short against stars like Shane Mosley and Amir Khan. While not all-time greats, the Diaz brothers' skills and accomplishments earmarked them as one of boxing's most successful family duos. The Diaz brothers. The Fury brothers. The Furies. The Fury family has established itself as a true boxing dynasty. At the forefront are brothers Tyson and Tommy. Tyson is the elder and former heavyweight champion. He's considered one of the top heavyweights of his era. Younger brother Tommy also pursues pro boxing. Though nowhere near the big name his brother is, Tommy remains undefeated through 11 fights. The Furies. There's a big one here. The Marquez brothers. The Marquez brothers. Mexicans Juan Manuel and Rafael Marquez accomplished tremendous things together. Older brother Juan Manuel won titles in 4 weight classes. Rafael also captured titles at bantamweight and super bantamweight, from 2003 to 2006. The brothers both earned election into the International Boxing Hall of Fame by facing elite opposition in memorable fights. As talented technicians, their slick boxing skills, underappreciated power, and comprehensive resumes make them arguably Mexico's greatest pair of ring brothers, and arguably, overall in boxing, the greatest pair of ring brothers, the Marquez brothers. They're up there. Top 5 for sure. When you're talking about boxing siblings, Juan Manuel and Rafael Marquez are top 5, maybe number 1. They are up there. Okay? Next, the Chavez brothers, boxing siblings today. The Chavez brothers. Now, Mexican icon Julio Cesar Chavez Sr.'s legendary career needs no introduction. His dominance of 3 divisions from the 1980s into the 1990s ranks him as Mexico's most revered fighter. Both of his sons followed him into the sport. Julio Jr. became middleweight champion in 2011. Youngest son Omar compiled a respectable 35 wins, 3 losses, and 1 draw record against quality opponents. The Chavezes fascinate as a multi-generational fighting clan. Julio Sr.'s all-time great status, combined with his son's success, made them as one of boxing's premier family acts. The Chavez name remains royalty in Mexican boxing circles. The Chavez family. Then we got the Spinks brothers. Boxing siblings today, the Spinks brothers. Leon and Michael Spinks made Olympic and pro history together. At the 1976 Olympics, light heavyweight Leon captured gold, while younger brother Michael won middleweight gold. Leon later shocked the world when he beat Muhammad Ali as a 7-fight novice, right? Won the undisputed heavyweight championship. Michael became the first light heavyweight champion to win the heavyweight crown after a historic undefeated run at 175 pounds. The Spinks brothers earned distinction for their Olympic pedigrees and barrier-breaking heavyweight success at the pro level. They shone brightest together during the illustrious 1976 campaign that showcased their prodigious talents simultaneously. Few siblings have enjoyed such perfect moments side by side. The Spinks brothers. The Klitschko brothers. The Klitschko. This is another big one here. Klitschko brothers. Ukrainians. Vitaly and Vladimir Klitschko dominated the heavyweight division together from 1999 until Vitaly's retirement in 2013. With both brothers holding world titles, they were an impregnable force, regarded as among the best duos in history. Vladimir's technical boxing allowed him to successfully defend his unified crown an astonishing 18 times. Vitaly was praised for his strong chin and powerful punches as a WBC champion. Besides being family, their contrasting, intimidating styles made them a strong duo. The Klitschkos never lost as simultaneous champions, exemplifying elite combined excellence. The Klitschko brothers, Vitaly and Vladimir. Then we have the Hatton brothers, the Hattons. England's Ricky the Hitman Hatton brought enormous pride and popularity to British boxing in the 2000s. His charismatic personality and aggressive style produced a passionate fan base. Ricky won titles in 2 different weight classes. His brother Matthew fought at a high level as well, contending for several belts. The Hattons' joint success and fame made them the United Kingdom's most beloved boxing brothers. Together, they brought immense boxing joy to their homeland, the Hatton brothers. The Garcia brothers. When Mikey Garcia beat Orlando Salido for the WBO featherweight title in 2013, he was carrying on the family tradition. His older brother and trainer, Robert, reigned as the IBF Super Featherweight champion in 1998 and 1999. The older Garcia went on to become a top trainer in the sport. At age 26, younger brother Mikey was already a 2-division world champion. He was an intelligent and dangerous puncher and went on to have a high-level boxing career, the Garcias. And the Mayweather brothers. That includes Floyd, the Mayweather brothers. We had Floyd Sr., Roger, and Jeff Mayweather. Yep. You know, Mayweathers. Okay. It's no mistake that Floyd Mayweather Jr. developed into a pound-for-pound superstar. Floyd Jr. was raised around the sport in the shadow of one of boxing's greatest families. His father, Floyd Sr., was a crafty welterweight contender in the 1970s and 1980s. Uncle Jeff was a fringe contender at lightweight in the 1990s. Middle brother Roger was the best of the trio, winning world titles in 2 divisions. All 3 brothers are respected for their boxing knowledge and had success as world-class level trainers. The Mayweathers. Okay? The Quarry brothers. The Quarries. Their father ruined them because they were some very talented brothers. Yeah. He wanted them to fight inside and slug it out because that was fan friendly. The Quarry brothers. The famed Quarry brothers were known for their toughness and heart, qualities that made them popular with the fans. An undersized heavyweight in the golden era of the 1970s, Jerry was an intelligent and aggressive counterpuncher with a durable chin. He is considered one of the best to never win a world title. Younger brother Mike was a top contender at light heavyweight. Managed by their hard-nosed father James, the 2 brothers engaged in sparring sessions that were legendary for their intensity and likely contributed to both men later being diagnosed with severe dementia pugilistica. Yeah, they say brothers wouldn't fight, but they had sparring sessions that were worse than actual fights. They say their sparring sessions probably contributed to both of them ending up with pugilistic dementia. The youngest brother, Bob, was a sub-500 journeyman in the late 1980s and early 1990s, who was most notable for losing by stoppage to Tommy Morrison and Jimmy Ellis. Boxing siblings today. Next is the Gibbons brothers, Mike and Tommy Gibbons. go back a ways for them. There they are. They're not twins, but they sure look like it. The Gibbons brothers. Now, neither of the Gibbons brothers ever won world championships, but they fought during an era when world titles meant something. Merely to be a contender in the early years of the 20th century was a tremendous accomplishment. Fighting out of Minnesota, the brothers were skilled technicians. Mike was a main event fighter at welterweight and middleweight, engaged against some notable battles with the legendary Harry Greb. Light heavyweight Tommy also battled with Greb, as well as Gene Tunney and Jack Dempsey. Tommy Gibbons is the only fighter to ever last 15 rounds with Jack Dempsey. Okay? Only one ever to go 15 rounds with Jack Dempsey. Tommy Gibbons. The former brothers. Okay, Bruce said he had Bob Curry on his show. I think Bob was the youngest one, right, Bruce? Mm-hmm. All right. Yeah, Bruce Gass. Yeah, y'all better check out Bruce Gass. He gets some famous people over there. Tim Weatherspoon on there on a regular basis. But yeah, he had Bob Curry. We just covered him. And Mike Mazik in the building. Salute, Mike. Talking about boxing siblings today. Next is the former brothers. It was three of them, but two really was the third brother he did fight pro, but he never really made any kind of name for himself. But the former brothers. Now Gene was a top level. Gene is in the International Boxing Hall of Fame. That's Gene on the right. I think they look so much alike, I can't really tell. But Gene Fullmer was a two-time middleweight champion during an era when the division was stacked with all-time greats, all-time killers, the 50s. Now, I always harp about them 1950s middleweights. Gene Fullmer was in that decade, did his best work in that decade. He was champion in the 50s. All-time killers in the 1950s at middleweight. Probably the best decade ever for middleweights. Now, Gene captured the belt the first time by defeating pound-for-pound king Sugar Ray Robinson in 1957. Now, he dropped the belt to Robinson by knockout in a rematch. He won it the second time after Robinson had vacated it, stopping fellow Hall of Famer Carmen Basilio in 14 rounds. Younger brother Don followed in Gene's footsteps and was a ranked contender at middleweight and light heavyweight during the 1960s, challenging twice for the title at middleweight. Middle brother Jay compiled a 20-win, 5-loss, 2-draw record during his career at lightweight and middleweight. Yeah, Jay was the middle brother. Mm-hmm. Gene Fullmer, Don Fullmer, and Jay Fullmer. Then we have the Norris brothers, Terry and the Norris brothers. I'll tell you in a minute. That is Orland, Terry and Orland Norris. Okay, yeah. The Norris brothers. Now, Terry Norris was a 3-time world champion at junior middleweight. He captured the WBC version of the title in stunning fashion in 1990 when he knocked out John the Beast Mugabe in the first round. Okay, it took Marvin Hagler 11 rounds to knock out the Beast. Terry knocked him out in the first round. Now, an extremely fast and athletic fighter, Terry has a win over the legendary Sugar Ray Leonard by a one-sided decision in 1991. One of the top fighters of his era, Terry Norris was inducted into the International Boxing Hall of Fame in 2005. Now, older brother Orland was an amateur standout, winning a National Golden Gloves championship. Despite being undersized, Orland was a contender at heavyweight. fighting some of the top stars of his era. He was a world champion at cruiserweight, holding the WBA belt. The Noise Brothers. Then we had the Galaxy in the lower weight class. The Galaxy Brothers from Thailand. There they are. Kway Saw and Kway Carl. The Galaxy Brothers. Okay, yeah, Gene is the one with the belt on. Okay, Bruce, let me see. Let me go back to that. There they are. Yeah, Gene is the one with the... Okay, Gene is on the left. Yeah, that was Don. I can't tell them apart. I said Gene on the right, but yeah, Gene on the left with the belt on. Appreciate you, Bruce Gas. Okay, yeah, the former brothers. Okay, now the Galaxy Brothers from Thailand. Now, despite competing at super flyweight and virtually never fighting outside of Asia, Kway Galaxy of Thailand managed to become an international sensation during the 1980s, thanks to his explosive knockout power. Originally a Muay Thai fighter, he transitioned to boxing in stride. He defended his WBA title 19 times successfully, 19 times, winning 16 of those fights by knockout. And although Kway was the biggest star in the family, twin brother Kway Core was a two-time world champion himself in the bantamweight division. Yep. Okay, now the Alvarez brothers. Okay, it's a little bit long here. The Alvarez brothers, it was 7 of them, and all of them fought pro. Canelo and his brothers. No, Bruce said all us white boys look alike. No, but they really do look alike, Bruce. Look at them. Yeah. I don't think they twins, though. Okay. Salute, Bruce. Okay. Yeah, the Alvarez brothers. There they go. Yeah. I think it was 7 of them. I think they had one sister. But let's talk about it. The Alvarez brothers. Now, Canelo Alvarez is the youngest of 8 children, including 7 brothers, all of whom became pro boxers. The Alvarez brothers made history on June 28, 2008, when all 7 fought on the same pro boxing card. Now, let's talk about the 7. Now, Rigoberto was the oldest. He won the WBA interim super welterweight title in 2010, becoming the first world champion in the family. Ramon is widely considered the next most successful after Canelo. He held the IBF International Junior Middleweight title and the North American Boxing Organization Junior Middleweight titles. Ricardo, a former WBC Latino Super Lightweight champion, and he retired with a solid record of 24 wins, 3 losses, and 3 draws. Gonzalo had a brief pro career, appearing on the historic 2008 card before transitioning out of the sport. Victor fought twice as a pro, including the record-breaking family card. Daniel, like Gonzalo and Victor, he primarily boxed in the early stages of the family's collective career. Of course, participating in the 2008 event. And last but not least, Canelo, former multi-division champion, previously holding titles at super welterweight, middleweight, undisputed super middleweight, and light heavyweight, with a current record of 63 wins, 3 losses, 2 draws, 39 knockouts. The Alvarez brothers. Yep, Canelo had, it was 7 brothers, and all 7 of them fought, and they actually had a historic card. They all fought on the same card. I think it was 2008. Yeah. Okay, the Gatti brothers. There's Arturo right there. The Gatti brothers, Arturo and Joe. Arturo and Joe exemplified the grit of Canadian boxing dynasties. Now, Arturo, an Italian-born fighter who moved to Montreal as a child, became a two-division world champion. And he's best known for his trilogy with Mickey Ward in 3 brutal wars that showcase Gatti as a come-from-behind warrior that puts everything he has into his fights. Now, his brother, Joe Gatti, Arturo's older brother, he was a junior middleweight who turned pro in 1990 and challenged for a world title in 1997. Joe and Arturo trained together in Montreal gyms, honing their aggressive, crowd-pleasing approach to boxing. Arturo and Joe Gatti. Yep. The Hilton brothers. The Hilton brothers. Okay, the Hilton brothers. Dave Jr., Matthew, and Alex are a famous Canadian family from Montreal, Quebec. Known as the Fighting Hiltons, they were a prominent fixture in the Canadian boxing scene for decades, with their father, Dave Hilton Sr. Now, here are some key details about the Hilton brothers' boxing careers. Now, Dave Hilton Jr., a former super middleweight world champion. Matthew Hilton, a former light junior middleweight world champion. Alex Hilton, a former Canadian middleweight champion. The Hilton brothers' careers were heavily based in Montreal, where they were popular. But the family was also victorious, was also notorious for personal controversy. Yeah. Yeah, we're gonna have to talk about some fathers and son training duos too. The Vanderpool brothers. Okay. Now, the Vanderpool brothers contributed to Canada's light heavyweight and middleweight divisions through disciplined family training in Ontario. Fitz held 6 Canadian pro titles across the welterweight and middleweight divisions. His younger brother, Sid, captured the North American Boxing Organization super middleweight title in 2000 and fought Bernard Hopkins for the IBF middleweight belt in 2001. Now, the brothers sparred in a backyard ring set up by their father before beginning their amateur careers. This sibling rivalry and paternal oversight mirrored broader Canadian trends, where families often bridge amateur and pro levels to compete against United States opponents. And the Arce brothers. The Arce brothers. The Arce brothers from Los Mochis, Sinaloa, held up for Mark, led by Jorge Travieso Arce, a 4-division world champion between 2005 and 2011, retiring with 64 wins in a 74-fight pro career. His brothers, Francisco and Javier, pursued pro boxing careers as well, with Francisco competing as a super flyweight, compiling a record of 15 wins, 5 losses, 1 draw over 21 pro fights. And Javier competed as a lightweight, contributing to the family's reputation for aggressive, crowd-pleasing styles. The Curry brothers, Donald and Bruce, the Curry brothers. Donald and Bruce Curry were a prominent 1980s boxing brother duo from Fort Worth, Texas, both becoming world champions. Donald Curry was an undisputed welterweight champion and Hall of Famer, while his older brother Bruce was a super lightweight champion, making them rare dual world champion siblings. Donald was known for being a well-schooled, intelligent boxer with excellent technique and solid defense. Bruce was known for having a heart as big as Texas, but faced a rougher career trajectory compared to his younger brother. A third brother, Graylin, was also part of the boxing family, though less prominent than Donald and Bruce. Marvin Hagler and Robbie Sims. Marvin Hagler and Robbie Sims, which were half brothers and pro boxers who both competed in the middleweight division during the 1980s. Hagler, the legendary undisputed middleweight champion, was the older brother by 5 years and served as a mentor and frequent sparring partner for Sims. The brothers shared a deep professional bond, largely centered around the Petronelli brothers' gym in Brockton, Massachusetts, where both were trained and managed by Goody and Pat Petronelli, legendary trainers. You always hear about the other four kings, Angelo Dundee, and had Sugar Ray, and Ray Arcel had Duran, and Emmanuel Stewart had Hearns, but the Petronelli brothers are very underrated trainers, man. Just as legendary as the other four kings trainers. The Petronelli brothers had Hagler from day one, okay? Very underrated trainers. Now, Sims was a natural right-hander, but he switched to a southpaw stance to mirror his brother's style. While often in his brother's shadow, Robbie the Cobra Sims was a high-level contender in his own right, with victories over Roberto Duran and Iran Barkley. Yeah, with a couple of big wins. It wasn't the hands of stone Roberto Duran from the 70s, but you know, on box record. Okay. Now the Beyer brothers go back a ways, Max and Buddy. The Beyer brothers. The Max and Buddy Beyer were brothers and prominent heavyweight boxers in the 1930s and early 1940s. Now, while Max reached the pinnacle of the sport as a world heavyweight champion, Buddy was a top-ranked contender, known for his massive 6'6" frame and punching power. Known as the Livermore Lurper, Max was one of the most charismatic and powerful punchers in boxing history. Both brothers served in the United States Army during World War II. And then the Morales brothers, Eric and his brothers. There's Eric, the Morales brother. Okay. Now, Eric Morales, a 40-division champion, led the Morales family from Tijuana with brothers Diego, with featherweight champion, 20-6, and Yvonne, attempted to become the third champion in the family in 2016, all trained by their father, Jose Morales. Now, Eric was the most well-known member of the family, remembered for his famous trilogies with Manny Pacquiao and Marco Antonio Barrera. And Eric is also a member of the International Boxing Hall of Fame. The Morales brothers. Then we have the Judah brothers. Yeah, Zab and Joseph. The Judah brothers. Zab Super Judah and Joseph Judah are brothers from a well-known Brooklyn-based boxing family, trained by their father, Yoel Judah. Now, Zab was a highly successful multi-time world champion in the junior welterweight and welterweight divisions. He was known for his speed, power, and high-profile fights, such as against Floyd Mayweather Jr. and Kasia Tszyu. His brother Joseph is one of Zab's 10 brothers, who also pursued a pro boxing career. Their father, Yoel Judah, is a former kickboxing world champion. Other brothers, including Daniel and Josiah, have also boxed on the pro level. Okay, now this is a good one here, the Matisse family. This is a very good one here. The Matisse family. Mhm. Now, the Matisse siblings, led by Lucas, have been central to Argentina's welterweight scene. Lucas, born in 1982, turned pro at age 21 and amassed a record of 39 wins, 5 losses, 36 knockouts, and retired in 2018. He faced top-level fighters like Danny Garcia and Manny Pacquiao during his career. Now, his older brother, Walter Sr., born in 1978, compiled a record of 26 wins, 5 losses, 25 knockouts as a welterweight, and challenged for the IBF title in a losing effort in 2007. But Walter had 26 wins and 25 of them by knockout. Now, Walter served as a key mentor to Lucas, training together in Tree Law's gym, emphasizing family-style sparring sessions that built their signature toughness. Now, their sister Edith added to the family's legacy as a former unified WBA and WBC female featherweight champion. The sister, the family patriarch, Mario, was also a pro boxer, while their mother, Doris, competed as an undefeated amateur. Even the mother was a boxer. That's a boxing family there. Even the mother was a boxer, undefeated as an amateur. And then Walter's son, Walter Jr., continues the line as a pro, currently a super featherweight prospect who debuted in 2020. So you got the two brothers, the sister, the father, the mother, and now one of the brother's sons is currently active right now, Walter Matisse Jr. That's the boxing family there, right? Wow. This multi-generational involvement underscores the Matisse emphasis on grassroots development in Argentina's Patagonian and Central provinces. Yes, that's what I call a boxing family. Even the mother, and she was undefeated in the amateurs. The Serrano sisters, boxing siblings today. The Serrano sisters, okay? And coming up, we got some father and son training duos too. We're gonna get to that because we're almost at the end of this. Okay, the Serrano sisters. Amanda Serrano, a Puerto Rican pro boxer and a historic multi-division world champion, often fighting out of Brooklyn, New York. She is closely associated with her sister, Cindy Serrano, also a pro boxer. Amanda is a 7-division world champion, a record in women's boxing, one behind Manny. Amanda is still active. Now, Amanda and her sister Cindy also made history by becoming the first sisters to hold world titles for major sanctioning bodies simultaneously. Okay? Amanda is known as a knockout artist with a high stoppage rate. Cindy is a former WBO champion who was inducted into the Women's International Boxing Hall of Fame. But they're the first sisters to hold titles simultaneously, Amanda and Cindy Serrano. Go back a ways again. We had the Zivic brothers. Oh, I had two pictures of Amanda and Cindy. That's Amanda and Cindy again there. We want the Zivic brothers. Okay, there they are. Yeah, that's the Zivic brothers right there. There was like 5 of them. The Zivic brothers were a famous family of 5 Croatian American boxers from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Fritzy, Jack, Joe, Pete, and Eddie. Fritzy Zivic, the Croatian Comet, was the most successful, becoming a world welterweight champion 1940 to 1941. He was known for his tough, often dirty fighting style. Fritzy fought legends like Homicide Hank, Henry Armstrong, and Sugar Ray Robinson. finishing his career with 159 wins. Now, Jack, a featherweight, was a 1920 Olympian before turning pro. Joe, Pete, and Eddie Zivick also competed as pros, making the five brothers a well-known fighting family. Okay, a couple more. The Puellas. The Ruelas brothers. Yeah, they were some good brothers back in the 90s, yeah. Gabriel and Rafael Ruelas. Yeah. You know 90s boxing, you know the Ruelas brothers. Now, Gabriel and Rafael are historic figures in pro boxing, who both held world titles during the mid-1990s. Born in Mexico and raised in Arleta, California, they were famously known as the Candy Kids because they were discovered by trainer Joe Goosen while selling candy door to door to fund their boxing dream. On January 28, 1995, they became the first pair of brothers in boxing history to successfully defend their respective world titles on the same card. First brothers to do that, defend their titles on the same card. Mm-hmm. Gabriel and Rafael Ruelas. Okay. Gotta do this. The Ali brothers. Yeah, Ali brothers fought brothers. Okay. Muhammad Ali, born Rudolph Clay, was a younger brother, best friend, and constant supporter of legendary. Muhammad acted as Muhammad's sparring partner and bodyguard throughout his career. He authored books about his brother, and was a fixture in Muhammad's life. And Muhammad passed away in August 2025 at age 82. He passed away last year. Now, both brothers started in the Louisville, Kentucky boxing league. Muhammad fought professionally from 1964 to 1972, often appearing on the undercards of Muhammad's fights. Muhammad was Muhammad's only sibling, and he often referred to himself as the lucky one, supporting his famous brother while forging his own path in boxing. Okay, yeah, I know. The Paul brothers. Wait a minute. The Paul brothers. The Paul brothers. This is the final one. The Paul brothers. Right. YouTube stars turned boxers Logan and Jake Paul have achieved incredible fame and success together. Now, beginning as social media sensations, the Pauls leverage their online popularity in the big money boxing paydays. Jake has knockout wins over former UFC champions Tyrone Woodley and Anderson Silva. Logan went the distance in an 8-round exhibition against Floyd Mayweather Jr. I know. Floyd had knocked him out one time and carried him around on his back for a round. But Logan went the distance with Floyd. Now, while the debate rages on about their actual boxing skill level, their ability to command global attention and generate astronomical paydays cannot be denied. Love them or hate them, the Paul brothers' wild journey from the internet to boxing stardom is truly unique. Okay, there you have it, boxing siblings. Now let's look at this. We're gonna look at some boxers who had family in their corner. Okay, some boxers who had family in their corner. The boxers who had family in their corner. Oh. Okay. This Monday, starting off another week of boxing history. Okay, some boxers who had family in their corner. Let's take a look at what that's all about. Excuse me for 1 minute. Yeah, I had to get the Paul brothers in, you know. They doing big things. And Jay, excuse me for 1 minute. Yeah. And Jake has been instrumental in women's boxing being as popular as it is today. And MVP and ESPN done inked the deal. Them women gonna be on ESPN now. That's huge. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, but let's look at this. Some boxers who had family in their corners. There we go. And I had it and erased it. There we go. I got it. Okay. Now, boxing is a sport that is physical and mental challenges. Okay. Fighters are constantly searching for a competitive advantage and ways to stay comfortable. For many, this process includes working closely with family. Having a loved one in their corner can give boxers an extra boost. This goes beyond a traditional support system, as boxers can look over and see someone who has watched them grow and develop since they first put on a pair of gloves. While having family in their corner can provide comfort during adversity, it can increase tension, as there have been a few times when professional disagreements strain personal relationships. And the following fighters chose to navigate those dynamics. Okay. Of course, the first one. Okay, here we go. Sorry about that noise. I was moving the laptop closer. Okay. The first one is, where's the first one? There we go. I think that's the first one right there. Yeah. Devin Haney's father watches over his career. Bill Haney constantly promotes his son as one of the best. Bill Haney first took Devin to the gym at 7 years old. These are some fighters who have family in their corner. Devin Haney reigned as undisputed champion at lightweight. As Devin moved up in weight, his father, Bill Haney, continued guiding him. Bill has overseen his son's career ever since his first day in the gym. Devin's natural talent was evident. So with Bill's guidance, he turned pro at 17 years old. With Devin now emerging as one of the sport's top boxers, Bill has gotten into a few controversial conversations with some of Devin's rivals, like Ryan Garcia, Tank Davis, and Shakur Stevenson. While Devin has said that he does have occasional disagreements with Bill, he's fine with letting his dad lead the way. We had Devin and Bill, so of course the next one is the Teofimos. Teofimo Lopez trusts his father. Teofimo said, I trust my father. I don't care what y'all say about it. He's mental. Teofimo Lopez Sr. has guided his son to multiple world titles. Teofimo Lopez Sr. started training his son at 6 years old. Teofimo Sr. insists that any disagreements with his son are based out of love. Teofimo Lopez is a 2-division world champion, winning the lineal titles at lightweight and junior welterweight. Teofimo is one of the hottest prospects in boxing before reaching the next level after defeating Vasily Lomachenko for the lightweight title, unifying the titles at that time. Now, Teofimo was guided to the top of the sport by his father, Teofimo Sr. Both men have developed reputations for being outspoken. They talk trash about Lopez's opponents and promotional deals. They've even had a few tense moments where it appeared they were on the verge of falling out with each other, especially after Teofimo lost the lightweight title to George Kambosos in a huge upset. You remember that one? Mm-hmm. But they still plow on together. Teofimo and Teofimo, Jr. and Sr. Chris Eubank Jr. had to live up to lofty expectations. Chris Eubank Sr. believes that his son has wasted potential. Eubank Sr. was closely aligned with his son's career until an ugly party. Eubank Jr. wanted to hear from fresh voices. One of the more exciting fighters in the 168-pound weight class, Chris Eubank Jr. scored a career-best victory against former champion Arthur Abraham before entering the World Boxing Super Series, which was ultimately won by Callum Smith. Now, Eubank Jr. is attempting to carve his own legacy out of the shadow of his father, UK legend Chris Eubank Sr. Eubank Sr. was in his son's corner until he wanted to seek opinions from other voices. Eubank Jr. has worked with Adam Booth, former world champion Roy Jones Jr., and David Haye, and Brian McIntyre. You had both at one time. Now, Eubank Jr. has taken a couple of tough losses, notably getting knocked out by Liam Smith, and his latest loss to Conor Benn. Eubank Sr. called out his son for not being focused, making it clear that the split from his son's corner wasn't amicable. Tracy Harris Patterson and his father made history. Yeah, they both world champions. Not too many father-son world champions, but yeah. Then Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. and Sr., Muhammad and Layla Ali, Leon Corey Spinks, Roger and Floyd's uncle and nephew. So, it's another Mexican father, son. I can't think of the names right now, that also accomplished it. Floyd Patterson was in his son's corner on the way to history. They are the first father-son duo to become world champions. Yeah, Floyd and Tracy Harris Patterson was first. It was before Muhammad and Layla and Leon and Corey and Julio Cesar Sr. and Jr., all of them. Yeah, Floyd and his son was first. Tracy Harris Patterson had a great amateur career, winning a Golden Gloves championship before turning pro. Harris Patterson won the WBC Super Bantamweight title with a knockout of Terry Jacob. He also won the IBF Super Featherweight title. Harris Patterson was trained by his father, the Hall of Famer and heavyweight champion Floyd Patterson. Yep. Another father-son duo, Joe Calzaghe and his father. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Joe Calzaghe is arguably Europe's greatest boxer. No, Jimmy Wild. Well, Jimmy Wild, a lot of people don't know about Jimmy. Jimmy fought like 1910, 1920 round in there. Jimmy never weighed over 112 pounds, if he weighed that much. He's usually weighed around 100. And he's in Ring Magazine's top 10 pound-for-pound punchers of all time. Okay? Never probably weighed over 110. Usually averaged like 100 to 105. One of the top punchers of all time. That's my greatest European fighter of all time, Jimmy Wall from Great Britain. Now, Enzo Calzaghe brought his son to the New Bridge Boxing Club so he could learn how to fight bullies. Okay, that's why his father got him into boxing, to fight bullies. Enzo trained his son all the way to the Hall of Fame, brought him to the gym to teach him how to fight off bullies, trained him all the way to the International Boxing Hall of Fame. Yep. Kozaki is on an exclusive list of Hall of Fame fighters who retired undefeated. Joe Kozaki is unquestionably an all-time great. Kozaki retired 46-0 with 32 knockouts. He was a lineal champion in super middleweight and light heavyweight. Kozaki made over 20 defenses at super middleweight before moving up. That's the record too. I think D-Hop and Triple G was tied at super middleweight. Let's see, super middleweight. Yeah, 20 defenses at super middleweight. B-Hop and Triple G might still have it at middleweight. Kozaki finished his career with 3 incredible victories, defeating the undefeated Mikhail Kessler to become undisputed super middleweight champion, defeating Bernard Hopkins to win the light heavyweight title, and then defeating another legend, Roy Jones Jr. Kozaki was trained by his father from day one, and Enzo eventually became head trainer at the New Bridge Boxing Club. That's where he took his son originally to fight off the bullies. He ended up becoming the head trainer there, Enzo Kozaki. So that worked out. Yep. Some fighters who had family in their corner. Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. asked his father to train him. Asked him to train him. That was a good move. Julio Cesar Chavez Sr. was a constant at all of his son's fights. Chavez Sr. trained his son for one fight as Chavez Jr. was returning from suspension. Chavez Jr. won a controversial decision over Brian Vera in that fight. Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. had the eyes of Mexico on him when he decided to pursue a pro career. Yeah, with that name, wow. Did he have some shoes to fill? Chavez Jr. had a record of 53 wins, 6 losses, 1 draw, 34 knockouts. Knew that he would be held to the standard of his father, one of the greatest fighters ever. To fulfill the prophecy when he defeated Sebastian Pick, the WBC middleweight. After a few successful defenses, Chavez Jr. looked on the verge of superstar status when he fought Sergio Martinez to determine the king at 160. Chavez Jr. was outclassed by Martinez, losing a clear decision. He was then suspended by the Nevada State Athletic Commission for using cannabis. Sending a downward trajectory, Chavez Jr. asked his father to train him for his comeback fight. Chavez Sr. was always nearby during his son's fight, so it seemed like a natural progression. Yeah, he trained him for that one fight and he won. Now this one, Shane Mosley. He fired his father not once, but twice. Fired his own father 2 times. Damn, Sugar Shane. Shane Mosley fired his father twice. And Jack Mosley started training his son at 8 years old. So what made Sugar Shane fire him twice? Shane Mosley was considered by many the best fighter in the world, pound for pound, during his reign at lightweight. Mosley had a rocky pro relationship with his father, Jack. Hall of Famer Sugar Shane Mosley, in the 49 wins, 10 losses, 1 draw, 41 by knockout, was a 3-division world champion who faced the top fighters around his weight class, including Floyd Mayweather Jr., Manny Pacquiao, Oscar De La Hoya, Canelo Alvarez, Miguel Cotto, and many more. That's a resume right there. Mosley was trained by his father, Jack, for most of his career, but Mosley fired his father after being upset by Winky Wright losing the junior middleweight title. And he fired him again during a stretch that included a knockout win over Ricardo Mayorga, but a loss to Miguel Cotto. Yeah, you lose, blame your father. How about you just got beat? Okay? Winky Wright was a bad man. Winky was just a better man that night. It wasn't your father's fault. But Sugar Shane fired him twice. His own father. I wouldn't have came back after he fired me once. I wouldn't have came. Vasily Lomachenko's father made him a complete fighter. Anatoly Lomachenko's unique training methods are legendary. Had Vasily stopped boxing for like a year or two to do all ballet, no boxing whatsoever. Lomachenko is considered one of the most technically gifted fighters ever. His father, Anatoly, had innovative training methods to help Vasily develop speed and timing. Because now you can't teach speed. You know, like you say in football, you can't teach speed. You either got it or you don't. You can enhance it, but you can't teach speed. Now, Vasily Lomachenko turned pro after a dominant amateur career and quickly won world titles in 3 weight classes, including a lineal title at lightweight. Lomachenko was trained by his father, Anatoly. Anatoly developed his son's footwork through having him take gymnastics as a kid. Lomachenko developed his cognitive skills through juggling tennis balls and built his stamina through various underwater exercises. Okay, a couple more. Fighters who had family in their corners. Roy Jones Jr. gave a look into the dark side of having family in his corner. Roy Jones Jr. felt helpless against his father's abuse. Yeah, I read about that. Yeah, it was bad. He said his father was a trainer and had a few fighters, but Roy said he always treated him the worst. You know, made him do 10 times more than the other fighters. Roy Jones Jr. was considered the best fighter in the world for nearly a decade. Roy's father was extremely hard on him to the point that Roy didn't want to live. He had thought about committing suicide. Roy Jones Jr. ended his career 66 wins, 10 losses, 47 knockouts. Had extreme natural talent that allowed him to reign from middleweight all the way to heavyweight. But Roy's talent was shaped by his father, Roy Jones Sr., in often dark ways. Roy Sr. says that he was helping his son develop mental toughness, while Roy Jr. says he was mentally and physically abused. Roy Jr. eventually broke away from his dad before his star-making victory over Bernard Hopkins. Roy Sr. was absent at his son's fights while he dominated the sport. Roy Jr. attempted to bring his father back into his corner after consecutive losses to Antonio Tarver and Glenn Johnson. But Roy Jr. asked his father to leave once again after his father clashed with head trainer Alton Murchison. I wouldn't have came back anyway. You fired me, I ain't coming back. My own son. I ain't coming back if anybody fired me, especially my own son. Find somebody else. Thomas Hill in the building. What's up, T. Hill? This is the last one. I almost knocked the lamp over. This is the last one. I'm going to drop the link in after this. We're talking about some fighters that had family in the corner. Salute Thomas Hill. Where's Define Arnie at, T. Hill? I haven't seen him in a long time. Okay, yeah. Floyd Mayweather relied on his family. Floyd's Uncle Roger guided his road to pound-for-pound glory. Floyd was also trained by his father at the start and end of his career. Yeah, Roger was in the middle. Floyd Mayweather 50-0, 27 knockouts. Won the lineal title in 4 weight classes, while winning titles from 130 to 154 pounds. Floyd and his father had a volatile relationship during the early part of Floyd's career, which culminated in his uncle Roger stepping in as head trainer while his father was away in prison. Roger helped Floyd become boxing's top draw, with wins over Oscar De La Hoya, Shane Mosley, Miguel Cotto, and Juan Manuel Marquez. Floyd Sr. stepped in to train Floyd's last few fights, including wins over Manny Pacquiao and Canelo Alvarez, due to Roger's declining health. Okay, there you have it. Fighters who had family in their corner. Okay, let's get a little link time. Al Booker says, Arnie's still doing his boxing channel. He just be coming on late for me. Yeah, I haven't seen him. Yeah, late for me too, Al Booker. That's why I just catch him every now and then. Because I'm old. 9 o'clock, I'm snoring, man. 9 o'clock, I'm cutting Z's. You know? Yeah. But I just hadn't seen him in a while. In here. So I was just wondering. But thank you, Al Booker. I hope everybody enjoyed that. We had boxing siblings, and we had some fighters who had fathers or family in their corner, mostly fathers, you know. Yeah. In their corners. Helping them out. Yeah, Roy Jones fired his father. Sugar Shane fired his father twice, man. Twice. Yeah. How was everybody's weekend? Starting off another week of boxing history. Okay. Yeah, what time we got? 48? Yeah, we good. Let's see. All right. Yeah. I was just when I hadn't seen Irony in here, but yeah. I caught him a couple of times. Over there. He called some fights, wrestling, MMA, boxing. Did some pretty good shows over there. I catch BBO at 8, but halfway through BBO show, I rolls out. I be struggling to keep my eyes open by 10. Yeah, Booger, that's right, exactly. Yeah. So yeah, we got a big week coming up. I talked all this stuff about Ariarte, the prospect, last week, and I missed this fight Saturday. Yeah, missed it. But this is March. Yeah, we got some good stuff coming up in boxing. And the women, Jake, I think MVP is made to deal with ESPN, right? So the women going to be on ESPN. Larissa better get on over there. Jake, follow her pride. I know they had beef earlier, but hey, that's big. Women getting them paid, they getting that visibility. Wow. Just do boxing. It's coming up next. I'm going to sleep. Yeah, boxing siblings. So, Artie Abertel, first brothers to hold titles simultaneously, 1909. Jamal and Jamal was the first twins to do it. Uh, I think Amanda and her sister were the first women. And Amanda and Sana were the first women to hold titles simultaneously. Yeah. Yeah. What's up, Thomas Hill?
What's going on with you, Cash? How you doing today?
Oh, not too much. I'm doing okay. How about you?
Man, trying to take it one day at a time. Trying to get this lady
You
right.
can do it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Great show. Great show. Talking about family in the corner work.
Yeah. Family, siblings, and then families got the like sons and father training duos, you know.
Yeah.
You know.
I think that, you know, like any sport, you know, you'll have the time where, you know, sons follow after their fathers, or you'll see brothers like in the NFL. You're seeing a lot of brothers playing in the league now.
Yeah,
before that was like a rarity. Now it's more of an occurrence. It's happening a lot more than it had been. So, you know.
Yeah, I noticed that. Yeah. Yeah.
And as with boxing, I mean, with boxing, you got that all the time. You got people following in the footsteps of their father, and then likewise going after their brothers. So yeah, you know.
Even the daughters, the sisters and stuff, you know.
Exactly. I mean, now that it's acceptable for women to be in that ring, yeah. Mm-hmm. And some of them thrive and actually doing really, really well. So shout out to the ladies, man, you know.
Yeah.
I'm almost down. You know, I'm a WNBA fan, and I watch what Olympics helped me to appreciate the women in the sport that they do. I mean, so I never speak down upon women in sports. I think that, you know, while not the same brand of sport, it's still the essence of the sport. And, you know, they do it at times from a fundamental standpoint, even better than men do, because they have to. Because, you know, more times than not, they're not working with athletic prowess that allows for them to excel amongst their peers. So they have to be good in the skill set. They have to be, you know, straight with the fundamentals. So shout out to the women, man. I mean, I don't think that's the case with boxing. I still believe with boxing, men are more fundamentally sound.
Yeah.
But to the same extent of like football, I won't even say football, because there's only really been one league, and that was for show. But baseball, basketball, yeah, you know, they can't do what men do, so they usually excel with skill. Where in the ring, you know, your athletic ability can get you over. Like if you can knock somebody out, say like Fabio Wardley, you can be losing the whole fight, and then you can hit somebody with one punch, change the whole course of the fight. Women, for the most part, they don't do that. So, you know, they rock.
True.
Yeah, they rely solely on skill. So, man, shout out to the women in the sport. I don't know, man. I like when, you know, the fathers are in the corner or some other.
Yeah.
I like when people are honest with their fighters in the corner, man. I don't think it always works. Sometimes it's not going to work. In the case of Roy Jones Jr., it definitely wasn't going to work because the way he felt for his father.
Right.
You know, so
intimidated by him, you know.
Yeah, you know, the way that he chose to show his fatherhood wasn't one that, I mean, he lent himself to his son's liking. So therefore, you know, there was always
it was going to be a negative.
And then when he got to the point where, I'm a grown man and, you know, I'm on top of the world right now, it's kind of hard to listen to him anymore. So, you know.
And then you out of here, you tired. You know.
And then for me, you know, you got the fathers that just living off the son. So you got people like Lopez, Teofimo Lopez Sr. that, you know, ain't really giving his son viable
That's a
cornerway.
Where he could be just as good with anybody training. You can't say that for every father. You can say it for Teofimo.
Yeah.
Father's just there, you know.
And the thing is, with that comes the fact that your fighter never fully develops to his talent.
Because
so, like
you.
Yeah, because of you become the reason why your fighter plateaus, so to speak, and he never adds dimension to his game. Yeah. So, you know, sometimes you got to take a break from.
Yeah, but just a cheerleader. He could be just sitting in the audience with the rest of the people cheering. He'll say stuff like, "Come on, you got to pick it up." But what about some kind of advice how to pick it up?
Where's the power, bro?
He's just a cheerleader, man. Rah, rah, rah. He's not giving no constructive instructions or anything. You know what I mean?
Nah, I absolutely know what you mean. I think that we saw it in the most recent fight with Devin Haney and your boy Brian Norman Jr. I thought that in that fight, instruction could have helped him possibly overcome the knockdown and build the momentum to push himself towards victory. Fight was not over at that point. Yeah, he was down. He was down 3 rounds to 1 because that was a knockdown. So that counts as an extra round. So you're down 3 rounds to 1, but you're fighting for 12.
Right.
So you got the ability to make that up. But the first thing he heard was, "Oh, you gotta get his ass back now." You all right? Like you all right? Like, dog, what's wrong with you?
No.
And in that moment, he don't need to hear that. No. He need to hear that. Now we in a boxing match, baby boy. This is what we came here for. So now we know that the power is real. Now we know he got something we got to watch out for. But you want to know what? Now we know we got to go on and put our grit in this fight. We got to grind our teeth. We got to get to it. We got to work. We got to break him down. We got to take this. So this is what I saw in the knockdown. See, he got you by doing this. Now he was throwing that left. He was pawing that left. He was pawing that left. And then he lined you up with that straight.
That's what he needed. Yeah.
He should have given him some advisement. So what we gonna do is we gonna occupy that jab. Every time he push that jab out there, we gonna snap right at it. We're gonna snap at it. We gonna encourage him to throw that right. And when he throw that right, what we best at? We best at throwing punches in between punches. We gonna shoot right with him. And then that's when we gonna. Nah, he didn't get none of that, dog. And you know, you got to when you're in the midst of something that's challenging, man. So
left, you know.
I think
like the 4th or 5th round or something like that.
What with the knockdown?
Yeah,
I thought the knockdown was in 2 or 3, I think, or something like that.
Early. I mean, the part where he was down, like Devin was winning like 3 rounds to 1, or he was a couple.
I mean, I thought Devin won the first round. It was close, but I thought Devin won the first round, being that he's the champion. You know, it wasn't much done, so they're gonna give him that. Whichever round that happened in, that gave him an extra round. So now, whatever you're down. So if it's 3 rounds, it's really down. You 4 rounds down. Yeah, because he's got 2 points down. But if it's 4 rounds down, say it happens in the 4th round, and you've only got 1 round in that four rounds, that means
there's a lot of fight left. That's what I was thinking.
A whole lot of fight left where you can come back if you take away what's causing you the problem. But he first told him, "Oh, you got to get it back," meaning that you should never been like that. That go back to the days when we grew up. You got beat. Oh no, you go home. Oh no, you got to go right back up and get it. Right. You're getting that aspect, and then you're getting them. Are you okay? Like, what's wrong with you? like so now, like, dog, this shouldn't even be the case. You're in a boxing match. That can happen. You know, he can do something. Now, granted, you know, Devin is also at that time, you know, he's acclimated with some savory character in sports history. So you can never think that, you know, he ain't coming with something probably he should not be coming with just because of the past actions of Victor Conte.
Yeah.
They say a tiger doesn't change its stripes and a leopard doesn't lose its spots. So, you know, there is a way that, you know, there could have been some altered. So you had to prepare for that as well, too. So you got to be prepared for everything that this fighter can bring. And now that you've seen it and you felt it, okay, cool. You got up. The biggest thing is you got up. Now, when you get up, we got to get composed and we got to get a game plan. You can't question the fact that, you know, you think he's okay. You know he okay. All right, you okay. You okay. That's all right. We in a fight now. Mm-hmm. But what's wrong with you? Like, dog, that's not what you need to tell a fighter in that moment. That nigga can't. You could tell he was shook, though, Kaz. When you looked at him,
man.
He was shook because he was talking about how he ain't got no power, how he feather fisted and all this other good stuff, and he's on the ground. So you got to take into consideration, and this is the same thing that happened with Devin Haney prior to the revelation by his brother that, you know, he was going to test positive. You know, he was shook. He physically was shook. Yeah, and on top of that, there was things that took place in that ring that showed that, like, you really was getting your tail whooped. Like, he got beat, and then there was stains on the back of his shorts. You know, so I'm saying, like, all of this is something that's playing in his mind. So he's not really sure. And that's why for that Ramirez fight that he fought that way, because he wasn't fully over it.
No, he wasn't.
But they understood that, yo, the people really trying to do us dirty. They trying to line us up, and they only trying to give us fights that they think we won't win. So we got to lock in. And they put together the lock-in plan. In that moment in the ring, they were supposed to put in the lock-in plan. Okay, bet. We wasn't expecting this, but it's okay. This is what to be expected in boxing. At sometimes, this may be the case. We've seen people that they ain't got known for knockdowns knock people down before.
Yeah, you're going to face adversity.
You got to face adversity. So you got to face
adversity. You ain't got no business in the first place.
In the first place, correct, Kaz? Mm-hmm. So now, if you're a trainer, you're supposed to know this, and you're supposed to be prepared for this, and you're supposed to be able to figure out how we get around this. And he didn't never get that. He had to find it his own self in the ring. And then once he found it, and I believe it was around like 6 or 7, you know, he started picking up the pace and he started doing well. Like, he was winning rounds. Yeah. He could have done that from the very onset if he would have gotten the right consult.
Yeah. He had fell behind, you know. When you get behind like that, it kind of like make you fight a little bit different, you know.
Yeah, he was. You could see it. I'm pretty sure you remember he wasn't fighting the normal style. It took him about 4 rounds. Yeah, facts. He wasn't aggressive, and it took him about 4 rounds to get to that point. And that's because when he got that knockdown and he went back to the corner, you know, his dad didn't look like. He'd been there before. His dad didn't look like he'd been there before. No. You got to look like you've been there before. You got to prepare for hope for the worst. I mean, best, but prepare for the worst. So you got to prepare for the fact that this might happen. And then what we do in that moment. I think it would have helped him get back on track. I think it would have helped him not have those like 3 to 4 rounds where he was like tentative, super tentative.
Yeah. He wouldn't have fell as far behind either, you know?
Yeah, and then you can work your way back in the fight.
Right.
Yep. So yeah, you're absolutely right, man. I think that, you know, when you're your family.
I think, didn't he get rid of his father?
Yeah, he sure did.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, I think it was a move for the better.
I do too, because he saw the same thing we talking about right now.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. It's like you can't. Yeah, Al Wilkins said it was the second round. It was the second round.
It was second. Yeah.
So you can see the first round, you can see the second round. So it's essentially you're down 3 rounds to nothing, right?
Yeah.
You still got 9 rounds to make that up. Mm-hmm. You should, instead of asking him if he's okay, asking him or telling him that, you know, you got to get it back. Nah, we in a fight now. Now we in a fight. This is where the fight begins. Now we got to show who we are. So don't worry about that. Shake that off. This is part of boxing, baby. Boy, you got a good one.
You know?
But this is how we get it back. Okay, so you see, this is what happened. See, he was flicking at you with that guy. He was just trying to give you a little bit of deception, and he was trying to time you. And then once he figured out your timing, he shot that punch that set you down. That's cool. That's cool. We're not gonna worry about that. But what we gotta worry about is the punch that kind of got you before that. It was that left hook, that check left hook hit you, and it kind of caught you off guard, and you started worrying about it. So this is what we're gonna do. Remember now, he got a check left hook on him when he was pawing with that jab. Mm-hmm. So what we're gonna do? We're gonna chime that jab. At first, we're gonna paw at that jab. We're gonna keep occupying and hoping that he gonna. Mm-hmm. And then when he engages with that right, this is how we're gonna shoot. We're gonna shoot through there, and then we're gonna always stab jab at that body. And eventually, when he thinks that we're gonna check that jab with a jab of our own to occupy it, we're gonna check it with the hook. And we gonna put the pressure on him, but he ain't getting none of that, dog. None of that. So, that's on him. And because he couldn't give that in his biggest moment, and because, he made excuses, there are no excuses. We do what we do. We just got to accept accountability. There was no accountability by him. So you got to move on. You got to get somebody in your corner. Now, having Ishmael Salas in your corner, that's that's a very good move. So, we might see a better output from him now. We might see a more concerted effort to do things fundamentally sound and to use what you have as ability to take away the ability of the other fighter. And that's ultimately what I want to see. I want to see how he moves, because I think that with that fight, it put him in a position where he's going to have to fight for his promotional ship now.
I know. I wonder if his club is still going to be in his club. I got rid of him.
I would hope so, because his father helped him get to where he's at. So I would hope so.
Still,
and I mean, it's been beneficial for Dev too. So, people can say what they want about Bill. Bill has been able to put him in a position where he is now. Now, granted, I believe a lot of that has been overblown. I believe a lot of that has been superseded by how they have moved and who has aligned them to get to this place. But make no mistake, Skambosis, before the T.O. fight, was in a back-to-back split decision victories, and I feel he lost both of them. After the Devin fight, where he lost all, 36 rounds?
Yeah.
I thought he got up in the ring with Maxie Hughes, lost at least at the bare minimum 10 rounds. I thought he really lost 11.
Yeah, I thought he lost them.
So I don't see that as a victory for him, even though he was awarded it. And then he proceeded to get knocked out by Paro. Was he get knocked out by Paro, or was it? No, it was. It was Hitchens, Loma. I thought he fought some other. Loma stopped him, and then there was a guy in Australia who I thought beat him. So he really wasn't of that type of ilk where you can say, He just happened to take T.O. when T.O. was in his feelings and, not fighting correctly. I think they fight again.
When it and people thought he was.
Nah, he was never that. And I agree with you on that. So you got that. Then you got the Regis fight where we clearly saw he kind of did look bad against Zaria. And he was trending in the way of looking bad. So that's not really that great of a victory, even though it was a victory and an accomplishment with the belt. Norman wasn't really what people thought he was. It was just that he was fighting against people who, they were trying to figure out if they would push him. So you got 3 victories that people give him a lot of credit for that are really not that great of victories, especially when you look at others and you take their victories down. So we got an instance where, Devin is accomplished, but is he really battle tested? Loma is that one battle that I feel like he was tested.
Mhm.
I don't think he had been tested in any other fight.
Not like that.
Not like that. So you know, we get to see with him going forward, because now there are no more Brian Normans for him. There are no more progrades coming off of that could be, but there shouldn't be. There are no more Scambosas who had a flash in the pan victory and rode the wave of that to a bunch of fights that he didn't deserve.
I know. That's
So
nice paydays out there too.
we get to see.
Thank you for all them paydays.
And the other thing though, Cass, we got somebody coming back fighting at 140. So if he can fight at 140, if they can meet 3.5 pounds difference, both up and down, that puts it at 130. What is that? 133.5. That's only 3.5 pounds from 47 and from 40. We can possibly get a fight. Now I know Al Booger not gonna go with that, but I believe the boxing is, just look at boxing right now, man. You got people staging face-offs. You got people staging sparring sessions. You got people staging all types of things, playing pranks and jokes on us like it's TikTok. You know what I'm saying? Challenges. Who can do it better? They searching for a way to get viewership because somebody has not been in the sport. Canelo has not been active, and Spence, we don't know what's been happening with him. So they're looking for identity. The identity is coming back, and he's fighting at 40. If he fights at 40, he can go 3.5 pounds. They can give 3.5 pounds, and the people at 40 can fight in their weight class. We can get some fights.
Mm-hmm.
So hopefully we get those fights. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. That's definitely a fight. And it gets to show us exactly where he is, man. If he's gonna be, because to me, you can't be out that long and nothing not be right. I believe something wasn't right, and I believe that's why.
Yeah.
If
he had he just need to give it up. I guess.
Yeah, nah, you're right about that. It's just good to see how he's gonna look, man. I've been wanting to see him in the ring, so we get a chance to see him in the ring, and for that, I'm grateful, man. I hope that he is okay. I hope that the reason why he ain't been in the ring isn't because he hasn't been like totally right, and he's trying to get himself back right. Mm-hmm. But I don't believe it was because he got beat so bad that he couldn't be in the ring. So with that being the case, we're going to find out if he's right. But, man, thank you for allowing me to come up, man. I appreciate coming up here talking that sport with you, man. Appreciate everybody that came through, that tapped in. You know, we had the Professor Booger.
Hey, you been on boxing? I mean, all these
You said what?
Is Arnie still?
Yeah, man. Yeah, the next time he is, man, I'll send the link to you.
Yeah, I haven't seen him.
Yeah, he usually comes on a little bit later now, man. And you know, he hasn't been on frequently. He was handling some business, but he's back to doing it a little bit. But yeah, he came through. Shout out to good brother Bruce Gas, Boxing, Jazz, and more. Shout out Mike Magic, the champ. Yeah, no, yeah, for sure. He would love for you to come by and chop it up with him, man. You know, everybody loves when you come through and talk boxing, bro.
Okay.
So yeah, you know, we when the next time he go on, I'll send that link your way so you can cue into it.
Okay. I'll come right on.
All right, man. Well, you know, this has been Cass Sports Boxing. He is the Boxtorian. 2 o'clock, shorty. Shout out to my main man, Cass Sports, for always giving us boxing and none of the nonsense that we get along with most folks. And shout out to everybody that came through. Shout out to the wife for supporting. Shout out to Mike Rim, always being in there. Bruce Gas, Al Booger, Mike Mazick. You know, you guys just listening, you guys that's listening on the playback, we encourage you to like, comment, and subscribe. We encourage you to hit that link whenever he makes it available so that we can all talk the sport, man, we love, and give it its proper justice. It's justice, man, because a lot of times, man, we put stuff on folks that really it don't even go to, man. We just got to appreciate what we see and what we get and hope that we can get some better stuff. And here you get the better stuff. So you can tune in Monday through Friday, 2:00 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. He is Cass Sports, the Box Story, and we are out.